So first I'm just going to go through the structure of the song. It has a C, F, C, with a little boogie there, and it does that 4 times and goes to the second part of the song, or the verse, which is an A minor, an E minor, and a C. Repeats that. And after a couple times of the C and F, after that second part of the verse, goes to a G, which is the chorus, I guess, and an A minor, and a D. We go back to the C, F thing once, and then it goes to probably what you'd call the break, which is that. And we repeat everything again, go through the whole verse, chorus, break, and everything, and then it goes to the jam. So after going through everything 2 times, going through the chorus and getting through the second break, we go to the jam, which is pretty much just the C and F chords. But Bob doesn't go to the boogie. He actually kind of stays with a and then after a couple bars he throws in a B flat from the C with an F boogie a lot of the time, back to the C, and they jam on that for a while. In the 80s and 90s they pretty much stayed on just the C F, but in the 70s they did the B flat F part of it. So after all that, go back to after the B flat F C part, go back to the main 2 chords, the C and the F, and then go back up to the chorus for the end of the song, and it finishes on the main theme. Again, the chorus was the G, A minor, and the D. Alright. So for the verse, we're going to take a C chord up in the 8th position here, do a downstroke, like that, and you're going to lift your left hand off to get that kind of staccato type thing, and you're going to do a couple dead strokes after that, down, up, get an F chord, hit it on the downstroke, come back up, get a C chord again on the downstroke. So that's C, down, up, F, C. Then you're going to kind of do the same thing with dead strokes and do a down, up, down, up, down. And after that, down, up, down, up, down, you're going to come back up, go down, but miss, not do a dead stroke, and catch the F chord on the upstroke. Up, down, up, back to C on the downstroke. In this version, and quite a few from this era, you kind of hear him hit an extra C chop in there. So in between the, he might get an extra little. So that's C, down, up, F, C, down, up, down, miss, up, down. So after the F, C part, you're going to get your hand in this boogie shape with your first finger on the root note, 8th fret, and your third finger on the 10th fret of the A string. And you want to have your pinky ready to get to the 12th fret of the A string. So after the, you're going to go do a down dead stroke and catch the boogie on the upstroke. You're going to get 2 upstrokes with that. Up, up, put your pinky down, down, come back up, and usually he lifts his third finger off here to make a C octave and gets the C octave on the downstroke. You could also just put your pinky on the D string there. So for this part you could add a hammer-on or a trill. You can hear that a lot in the 70s versions. So if you check out the earliest versions from February, March, and April 71, it was quite different. They put it away for a while till early 72, and when they brought it back it had quite a few changes, or quite a few new parts added to it. The original way they played it in early 71 was more of a where Bob kind of just put the emphasis on that major third note. So after we do this a few times, we're going to go to an A minor, 5th position, an E minor, and a C. So that's down, down, up, down, up. Now in this version, and in the 70s, he usually keeps going on that C and does like a down, down, up, up, down. In the 80s and 90s, he did it a little differently. He'd kind of leave the C alone. He'd do the A minor, the E minor, and get the C on an upstroke like that. Leave his hand hanging there, then get that. So that's down, up, down, miss, up, just like in the verse. So that's 2 times we do that through. Same boogie, just like we always do. Most of the version sounds like he's pretty much sticking to the lower notes, the 1 and the 5 kind of thing, power chord. So after that second part of the verse with the A minor, E minor, and C, we go back to the regular C, F part 1 time, and after the boogie, it sounds like a lot of the times, especially in the 70s versions, he hits the A note before going to the G. So that's the major third of F. A lot of times Jerry does an F into the G, so it sounds like he's just complementing that with the A note. So we get the G on the downstroke, do a dead down and upstroke, get the G on the downstroke again, a dead downstroke, and in this version, and a lot of times in the 70s, he does a boogie. So that's up, down. Again, you put your pinky on that first downstroke. Up, up, down, down. Lift off for the second one. You could just leave it alone and do the same rhythmic pattern. And depending on which year, which date you're listening to, might sound like he's just sticking to the lower notes or doing the full chord. A lot of the ones in 72, it sounds like he's getting more of the chord in there. So after the G, we go up to the A minor. Same kind of down, down, up, down. And then we go to a D. So for the D, we're going to pretty much do the same thing. Up, 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 down. So that's the boogie, A note, G, down, up, G, up, 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 down, A minor, up, up, down on the D. Or we could do the boogie on G. And on D, which happens the second time around the chorus in this song, in this version of the song. He does the chorus differently in the 80s and 90s. When he goes to the G, he usually slides after the boogie, catches it on the upstroke like that, dead downstroke, upstroke, slide in, and then holds it there, does a downstroke, and does two dead upstrokes, or two upstrokes like that. Goes back down with a dead stroke, catches it on the upstroke, slides into the A minor power chord. Then for the D, does a down, up, up, quick down, quick two upstrokes at the end. Also in the 80s and 90s, it sounds like he might be doing a regular boogie instead of going down to the octave. So if we're going to do everything that way, we might go. And then we go back to the C. After you go back to the C, or the main theme, you're gonna do your boogie, but you're gonna stop it after you get your pinky onto that 12th fret. If you want to get ready to do this thing. So that's probably the trickiest part, definitely the trickiest part of the song. Weir gets his pinky on the 10th fret of the B string, his third finger, 10th fret of the G string, keeps his middle finger on the 9th fret of the G string, so we're going to need it. Also keeps his first finger, for the most part, on the 7th fret of the G string. So you're going to want to try to just get those two strings, the G and the B, pluck, do a pull off from the 10th fret of the G to the 9th fret, put your finger back on the 10th fret, get it again, and in this one, it sounds like the next one he's doing a so you pluck it down, take your finger off that G string so you have the 9th fret, put your finger back down, pluck, pluck again, and then you're gonna lift those up, get your first finger on the 7th fret of that G string. Usually sounds like he gets this in as an upstroke, so if you can do get that in, do the two downstrokes before so you can get that as an upstroke. After that, you're gonna put your ring finger on the 10th fret of the D string, C note, and then you're gonna move it back. So you're essentially making a G chord. A lot of them in this era, it sounds like you might get that B string in there too, so you have that. So far that's just the 10th fret of the B and G string. Pull off from the 10th to the 9th fret of the G string. Put your finger back on the 10th fret of the G string. 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, 10, 7, as far as the G string goes. B string, 10th fret the whole time. G string, 10, 9, 10, 10, 7. Now up to the D string, 10, 9. Some of the ones, 72, it sounds like you might have been using the E and B strings, doing something more like this after the first part. Kind of getting the G right there instead of right there. But in the videos I've seen, this is how he's doing it. Most of those videos are, actually all those videos are from the 80s and 90s, as far as having the privilege of being able to see how he does this part on the guitar. So we'll go with this for the most part, but we're gonna go get that G, and then you're gonna move your shape up, or move your hand up to make this shape. You're gonna want your middle finger on the B note of the D string, so it's the 9th fret. Your ring finger, 10th fret of the A string, that's the G note, and your pinky right below it on the 10th fret of the D string. And you're actually going to try to catch just these two notes, so you pretty much just have the 10th fret of the A and the D string on an upstroke. Up, down, up, and then you lift your pinky off, and you get the downstroke of the G. So essentially you just have the 1 and the 3 of the G at the end, and before that you're really just making a C with these two notes. You have the 1 and the 5 of the C. So far we have so after this part with the C and the G double stomps, you're gonna move your 3rd finger up to the A note, so the 12th fret of the A string, and have your 1st finger on the 10th fret of the D string. So we have a little A minor double stomp. And you're gonna do the same thing with your right hand. Up, down, up, and then we're gonna move back like this. Make that G double stomp again, except for you're gonna have your middle finger on the G note, 10th fret, and your 1st finger on the 9th, the major 3rd. And then we're gonna move that back to an F, a whole step. So same shape, except for your 1st fingers on the 7th fret and your middle fingers on the 8th. And then you're gonna move back to the same style you did with the A minor double stomp, but it's gonna be an E minor double stomp. So after this E minor double stomp, you're going to change to a D minor chord. And then you're going to go up to a G and an F. To do that, you're pretty much just sticking to the power chord, the 1 and the 5 of the A and D string. So with your right hand, you're going to take the D minor, pretty much stick to the power chord, and do it down, down, up to the G. Down, dead, come back to the F, up, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, up, down, and then to the C. And we're going to repeat this whole thing. But after we get to that E minor double stomp, we're going to slide right in with our 1st finger to the E note, or the 7th fret. Hit the F note with our next finger. Hit the G note with our pinky, so that's 7, 8, 10. Next string, D string, 7, 9, 10. So that's 7th fret of the G string, 9th fret of the G string, and you might want to get your first or your middle finger down on the 8th fret of that B string. So we have a G chord, essentially becomes part of a C chord right there. And then we're going to hammer on with those two. So keep that middle finger on the G string, 8th fret, and hammer on from the 7th to the 9th of the G string. Try to get both of them. So that's, and then you're gonna, after you do the hammer on, you're gonna try to do a little bend. It mostly comes from this finger, your 3rd finger, but you can kind of try it with both. Lift it off, and back to that little G chord. So you're going to take that G shape and do a down, up, down, and you're going to move it back to an F shape, like that. Just move everything back a whole step. So you have your first finger on the 5th of the G, middle finger on the 6th of the B, hit it with an upstroke, put your middle finger down on 7th fret of the G string. So now you pretty much have a B flat chord, and pluck that and slide in to the C chord. So up from the 7th and 6th to the 8th and 9th. You could also do it from a half step back. Slide from the 7th and 8th to the 8th and 9th. So altogether that's going to be sorry, that D minor should have been. And then again. And we're going to go back to the verse. And do everything over again. Go through the whole thing. And then we go back to those 2 verse chords and jam on those for a couple bars. So after going through the verses and chorus and everything twice and doing that break twice, you go back to the main 2 chords, the C and F. And if you wanna do it the way they did in the 70s, start throwing the B flat and F in there. So you have a C, you know, stuff like that. He seems to stay away from that C boogie, uses the F boogie quite a bit more. And, you know, work on things like this, hammering onto that, doing little trills. And eventually it goes back back to the C and the F, and then goes into the Abraham and Isaac sitting on a fence, the G, the A minor, and the D, and back to the C and F. And that's it.